I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Howdy, 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 howdy.
Were you bored?
Yeah, and I was gonna work, but I worked all day, so the battery in my iPad's dead, and like my iPad glitches a lot when it's plugged in. It glitches enough as it is, but then like when it's plugged in, it just glitches constantly. So I was sitting here watching Forged in Fire, which
Really?
I love that show.
I just watched what the hell was it? The dang. I was watching it on a pirate site, so I can't pull up what it was. Oh, yeah, I can. Hold on.
Not it, man.
You an internet pirate?
Yeah.
Arg.
Well, Amazon likes to play little games. You watch one
What up, Dennis?
movie, and then if you want to watch another movie, they charge you for it. It looks
I'll buy a
interesting.
bunch of free case.
Wait, what?
How much does it cost?
You know, sometimes so they'll put on like certain directors' films, and they only have like maybe 2 or 3 films that are watchable, but all the other films that you can watch by the director, you have to rent or buy from them.
Right.
So you're
Capitalism.
Yeah.
I did share the link again. It's at the top. It's the top link. Yeah. So anybody wants to come on in. I don't think I'm gonna be streaming that long. It's already midnight, but this is the nightcap stream. So I poured myself a glass of vodka, and I am prepared to cap off my night.
I just watched The Interpreter. That's what it was.
The Interpreter. What's that about?
The UN and I forget this guy's name.
Bro, these stylish cases.
Sean Penn. It had Sean Penn and Nicole Kidman. And she is a translator, and she overhears something. It's a pretty good little espionage film. I never heard of it until today.
The water case.
Because I had watched a movie with Sidney Pollack. And then it's a Sidney Pollack film, and then Under there, I was like, what is this? So, not a fan of Sean Penn, but it was good.
No.
It was good. This is before I knew Sean Penn was a fool.
Yeah.
Sean Penn was great in Fast Times.
I like some of his
water cases 10%.
I don't know, late 90s, early 2000 films, but then after he lost his mind,
Yes. What is the name of that movie we watched last night? Was it Annihilation with Natalie Portman? Such a weird movie, but really, really well. Like the cinematography and the direction, and I mean all the acting and all the basic stuff was really solid. But just the whole concept of the thing is like this. I'd never heard of it. I just saw it and I'm like, Natalie Portman's a good actress. Let's check it out.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Yeah, it's the director. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up. IMDb. And I tell you, it's a really well done movie. But I wouldn't be like, hey, everyone has to go out and watch this. Annihilation 2018. Jennifer Jason Leigh. It is directed by Alex Garland, who is known for Ex Machina. I haven't seen Ex Machina yet, not the whole thing. Men and 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
So since 2002, he's done 4 movies.
Do you know there's another 28 months? There's a third one coming out?
No.
Yeah, so it's going to be nice. It says he's uncredited for Dread.
That guy?
Yeah.
Really?
He's probably a second director or something like that. He wrote Dread, the 2012 Dread.
Oh, he wrote it?
Yeah, and he has uncredited.
Oh, I didn't even look at what he's written. Yeah. Oh gosh, he's written quite a bit.
He wrote all of the things that he's been in or that he's been a part of.
that he's directed. Yeah, that's cool. That makes more sense than he's only directed 4 things in 20 years. Devil May Cry, Virgil's Downfall. Interesting. He wrote for the video game. That's cool. Devil May Cry was a great game.
The first ones were like the first 2, I think.
What up,
and then
Link?
he got dumb.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I kind of stopped playing video games.
Yeah,
I
got
stopped
out
playing
that
anything
age.
other than Call of Duty for a long time. That and Age of Empires. So now I'm kind of out of it. I get tired of the kids beating me at everything now. Back in the old days, when you could spend 8 hours a day practicing, it's one thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now the kids spend all day practicing, and they wipe the floor with you.
And my daughter plays a lot of video games. She has her own little Discord group. She runs the show.
Very nice, very nice. So what's going on? Have you been watching any? Have you been watching Ahsoka?
Yes. I think it's awful.
Do you?
Yeah, it's worse than like Babylon 5 and
I never watched Babylon 5. Never got.
well, you know that cheesiness. You remember what's that one with Kurt Russell? Stargate. You remember how kind of corny Stargate was, or Xena? I'm getting that feeling.
Yeah, but Stargate the movie wasn't as corny.
No,
as
TV
the
show.
Yeah,
TV show.
yeah. And I don't know. To me, I really am flashing back to my childhood where Star Wars TV was the Ewok Adventures. So I look back at that and think, this stuff ain't half bad compared to Ewok Adventures.
I don't like what they're doing with. You can tell like everything's on a giant sound stage. Everything looks like a stage. Like when that girl was getting out of the spaceship with her son, and she's like walking out with a gun like a goofball.
That was such a dumb scene. And no, I'm not going to say it's actually good stuff. Ahsoka, I think, is after Andor. I think Andor's actually quality.
I like
TV.
Andor.
Yeah, it's really well done in all respects, other than the pacing's a little slow. But of all the other really hackneyed Disney stuff, I think Ahsoka's the best one. I think Mandalorian was so overhyped, and people were so ready for something that didn't absolutely suck, that when Mandalorian came out, they're like, "Oh, this is great," and I'm like watching it, I'm like, "This isn't that great."
Yeah, no, it's not. No.
Yeah.
Only episode 3 was any good so far with Ahsoka. Mr. Dennis. Yeah. I had one good episode so far.
I remember there was the one episode that was just an absolute waste of time, where she was doing the outside the spaceship ballet stuff, which the entire episode didn't have to happen. It was like, why is this? It's like a filler episode of Naruto or something. It was like so pointless. And then the episode after that, I was like, this is good Star Wars. Right? And then this last episode, I was like, that was okay.
They don't know how to so this, whoever's in control of the production companies or production studios that are doing each of these shows, they're dumb, they're clowns. They don't know how. Did you listen to the director who did the Disney show with WandaVision? Did you listen to that director?
No.
He was he thinks extremely high of himself, and he was also one of the he grew up as a child actor, so he was on set all the time, and then he became through TV shows, and then he's done TV shows, and then he did this to try to prove himself, and then they hired him as a director to do one of their films. But since then, I think he's been fired. But there's like this type of attitude, like I'm doing a Marvel thing I'm doing. So they have this high praise of themselves, and you notice it with that Oriental chick who did She-Hulk. She had like that same attitude, this
Oh,
prissy ass attitude that was
how?
like, who are you?
No.
You know, only certain actors can act like this, or excuse me, directors can act like this after they have like created that type of following, cult following, or whatever, what have you, in terms of like what makes a director or an executive producer director prominent. Like, no one messes with the dude who does Batman, who did the 3 Batman. What's his
Nolan.
name? Yeah, no one messes
Oh
with
yeah,
Nolan.
actually, that's what that director from that movie reminded me of. The directing and the cinematography was
Of
very
Annihilation.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah,
Yeah.
they need to hire Cobra Kai. Disney is clueless on how to make an 8-episode season. Filler episodes are okay in a 20+ episode season, not in an 8 episodes. I know. That's. I feel like what really killed Obi-Wan was it should have been a 2-hour movie, and they're like, oh, let's make this an 8-hour thing, and you're like,
They're proselytizing directors for Hollywood jargon is what they are. You know what I mean? Like, they all say the same script. They almost all say the same thing. They're all on the same boat. And was it Nerdrotic who said like that the directors are like actors now? You're like hired to be a director, but you're really not the director. You know what I mean? The studio, Disney, Marvel is a director, and they, you know, how directors used to
directing
have
by
control.
committee. Directing by committee,
yeah. And they don't have that control anymore, but they all act snooty. So you know they're all being given the same stories.
Yeah. Kenobi was my greatest disappointment in all of Disney Star Wars, because I love Ewan McGregor, and I just hated to see him dragged through that miasma of
I hit a 2 dang it.
just crap.
I wonder if he's like at that point of his career as an actor where he just doesn't care.
$3 now.
No, I think
know
he
what I
really
mean?
waned to return to that character. I think he
I
was
don't know, man.
as excited as all the fans were, but then he probably got the script and he's like, what the hell is this?
Could you imagine being Liam Neeson and watching that show in your house?
Oh my God.
And I mean, this is
Wait,
what you're
wasn't he in
trained-
the last episode?
I don't think so. Was he? Oh, as a ghost?
Yeah,
I
I think he
don't
was,
know.
right?
don't know.
He showed up at the very end, and he's like, "Where were you?" It's time. No, I can't do Liam Neeson. It's gonna do a Sean Connery. Yeah, the Lasergate.
Oh yeah,
That
run,
was the
bro.
most
Everything is
hilarious-
so bad.
hilariously.
I'll be right back.
stupid thing. No worries. Oh man, that was the funniest thing because of how stupid it was. It's like, I couldn't possibly walk around this thing. McGregor being dragged out to call fans racists forever ruined Kenobi. Did he call fans racist? Don't make me think of Ewan McGregor saying such things. Ewan McGregor is one of my favorite actors,
I'm gonna keep on.
and
His
I'll
early
allow
films,
him to say some stupid stuff, huh?
his early films are very different.
Oh
I've been
yeah, have you
watching
seen Shallow Grave?
the one where he has his penis out? I forget what that movie is. It's like one of his very first films, and his dick is out for like a lot of the film. You're like, all right, Ewan,
What movie is that?
just look up his early films,
Monochrome hair.
and I
My
forget
first,
which it is.
my first Ewan McGregor film that I ever saw was Shallow Grave, and I think it might have been his first movie. And
Yeah,
then
he had some
Trainspotting.
weird films. Like I've been
Trainspotting.
watching a lot of
Have you seen Trainspotting?
yes,
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
freaking great.
That was weird.
Yeah.
You know,
There's a
Sidney
sequel,
Lumet.
dude.
There was no sequel. That was like a fake sequel.
Did you see it?
No,
I haven't
couldn't.
seen it yet, but no, it's a sequel. It's Trainspotting, but the characters are all 20 years older.
Yeah, you can't redo films or you can't make. It's like making a part 2 of Hacker. You know what I mean? With Angelina Jolie and that young guy, I forget his name, but
He was also in Trainspotting.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 Degrees of Separation. No, I want to see the sequel to Trainspotting. I want to see what they do with it.
Do you know who Sidney Lumet is?
Sidney
A Jewish
Lumet.
director. Yeah.
No.
Pull up Sidney Lumet's IMDb. He has some interesting films that will be right up your alley, especially if you're doing work and you just want to have it on the screen.
12 Angry Men. Not the original,
He did
right?
12 Angry Men, yeah.
Oh, Joker?
Mm-hmm. He did
Oh, he did the original 12 Angry Men.
mm-hmm. It was his very first movie he ever did, but he did Q&A. Have you seen Q&A? That has Nick Nolte in it. That is a badass movie, bro.
Friggin' Dog Day Afternoon, Serpico.
Yeah, he did yep. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, just go down his list one day and just watch him.
10% bombastic.
And because like there's
one
The
Verdict. Film, that's a good one.
I forget which film it is. It's like I think it's Power. It's like the blacks are trying to come into New York and the Jews are running parts of New York and all this stuff, and it's the stuff that they say is so brutal. Like you couldn't make these films today. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And but it's so good. It's so real.
Wait, what is Dennis trying to show here? Twitter. Star Wars status. I don't know what it is, but whenever I try to type in like on my Brave account, my Twitter doesn't go through. So weird.
All right, I'm getting up there.
Where's 7? Did 7 jump in here?
I'll send him a DM. I thought he was.
Oh, here it is. The personal message from Ewan McGregor.
All right, I'm on.
Oh, you guys gonna make me feel bad. All right, let's present. Share screen.
Hit the 10% for the once in a while. Nah. Not even a bait for me.
Influential fan base. This weekend, Star Wars fans made Obi-Wan Kenobi the most watched Disney Plus original series premiere of all time. And for that, I would say
because of you.
And
because we want to see you.
What this family can do when we all pull together. However, it seems that some of the fan base from this influential fan base have decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. And I heard some
DMs
this morning and it just broke my heart.
See,
Moses
he's
is a
just
brilliant
defending
actor.
his friend.
She's a brilliant woman, and she's absolutely amazing in this.
And look what a
series.
good
She brings
actor
so
is
much
saying
to the
she's a
series.
good
She brings
actress.
so much to the franchise, and it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. I just want to say, as the leading actor in the series, as the executive producer on the series, that we stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind. There's no place for racism in this world.
10%
And
silent.
I totally stand with Moses.
Your kids battle?
I'm fine with that. It's just a dude standing up for his friend.
You join.
And who can really argue with, hey, don't send racist stuff to my black friend?
I hate videos of actors when they're in their cars, like doing apologetic videos or, those.
You shut up, Jiminy. What do you know about being black?
Join Michael.
If you don't like Ewan McGregor, you ain't black. No, it's I mean, the whole reason everybody hated her was because she was a terrible actress. And but I understand him saying that, defending his. I mean, look, he's a good guy, and he's just gonna defend. I don't think that was on Disney's part. She told him that. I don't know what the truth is. I'm sure she told him. And she called him. She's like, "Oh, you and I getting all these people are saying all this bad stuff about me because I'm black." He's like, "No, it's not because you're black, is it? We're sorry. I'll get on the YouTubes right now and tell everyone not to say racist things about you,
Yeah, it's a minute off.
because that's not Star Wars, is it?"
I don't know.
Sorry,
when
I'm
I'm
gonna
going-
defend Ewan McGregor. I just love him so much. That's why at the beginning he said, "Oh, it was the most watched thing." Yeah, it's because of you, dude. You're the only reason everybody watched the first episode. And then the first episode was the reason why nobody watched the second episode.
Well, it also felt like it was redone multiple times. It had one of those feelings, like you know, like when you watch a show or a movie, or like it has like a very terrible third act. All of a sudden, like the first two acts are like, "Yay, up to climax, this is good," and then it just falls dead. It's like Wonder Woman was like
Oh
that.
my gosh.
The first Wonder Woman, pretty good going up, and then the end of the film, it was so
Oh, yeah, but
was-
everybody just remembers the battle, the battle with the Germans. That was the part in the movie where I turned to my wife and I go, "I never knew I needed a Wonder Woman movie until now."
7 and 9 says he's in bed.
Oh, gay.
That's exactly what I said to him. I said,
What is that?
Have I watched deep fakes of Ewan of McGregor watching Ahsoka? No, I have not. I have not seen that. So,
Oh my
have you
God.
seen what I'm up to so far?
your campaign?
No, on the Afar thing. I'm not promoting
Yeah,
that.
we're just in the
I
chat.
should, but you know.
Personally, I would take that silence.
So what do you do? Like one of these, a couple of these a week, or one a day?
I've been trying to do about 4 a day.
Damn.
I don't know what the last thing you saw was. I think I haven't shown anything since Wednesday, so I'm not quite sure how far back that goes. Let's click back a few. And then I actually ended up redrawing a section in the middle because I missed out on from 51 to 54, and then oddly enough I just ended up changing it. But
You should do apocryphal books of these slides too.
do the Book of Enoch.
That,
Which I think is
would
funny.
be too typical. That would be typical.
Yeah, but Enoch's not even in any of the canonized apocrypha, but it's quoted in the Bible. It's
Well, they
really-
took I think it was 13 or 18 books, because Biblicia, the Bible, the collection of books, has like I think 13 or 18.
It's 18.
Yeah,
There's
18
18
stories.
altogether. There's 18 apocryphal books. But all the different churches use different apocryphal books.
Yeah.
So they don't all use the same ones, but there's 18 total. There's first through 4 Ezra's, first and second Maccabees. There's a bunch of them. But yeah, dude, I've been going through that on my channel. Like I went that for like a week when I was doing the Bible study stuff. Just arguing with Catholics.
I like apocryphal books. There's
Yeah, they're great historical books. They're not.
yeah.
All right. Then let's see here. We get. Well, it's not clicking.
No, we didn't hit
Click.
either.
So, this is when he hears about John. I don't know if here's John getting beheaded,
Boys.
and then
Guys.
his followers coming and telling Jesus that John got beheaded. Jesus is sad because that's his first cousin. And then he wanders off to be alone. Then he's alone, and then the crowd comes to him, and it kind of makes him happy. And then there's a crowd getting hungry, and he tells the apostles, that's Peter and Andrew, and he tells them to feed the people, and they go 5,000 of them.
Here, join the-
And he says, 5 loaves plus 2 fish divided by 5,000 people. Jesus says, give me the bag. He blesses it and multiplies loaves and fishes. Then he calls the 12 out, tells them to get on a boat and take a ride while he goes up and
Let's go.
is alone on a hill
Let's go.
day after day.
I think they're just on the last side. Let's go.
Dennis says, get the major books done first. That will take long enough. Well, I'm doing...
10%.
This is the Gospels. This is all 4 Gospels combined into one story. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see what we want to do after the fact. So,
On the side.
oh, look who rolled out of bed.
Nasser.
Nasser. Nasser was in bed with 7? Hey, now.
Probably. You hear his voice?
So then the apostles are on the boat, and then they're like, what's that? And they see off in the distance something walking on the water. Here comes Jesus. Let's go. And they think he's a ghost. And he said, no, it's cool, bro. It's me. And then Peter says, can I walk on water? And Jesus says, come at me, bro. This is paraphrased, by the way. And then Peter steps out onto the water and he goes, hey. And then he starts sinking. And then he says, I doubted. And Jesus said, you shouldn't have doubted, bro. And he pulls him up out of the boat. And then everyone on the boat's like, you truly are the Son of God. And then Jesus says, Peter, James, and John, come with me.
All right.
And they run up the hill, and he gets to the top of the hill, and he's transfigured into a beam of light. And Moses and Elijah appear before them. That's as far as I got. But also, I filled... come on, where is it? Oh, here we go. In 51. Also, I did these. I went back in and I filled in. I actually deleted. I'm deleting a panel because it was 3 of the Gospels tell it one way, and then one of them tells it another way. And I told it the other way, and then oddly enough, I left a gap of between 50 and 55. So there was a gap there, and I'm like, what the heck? How is there a gap? But going further, like understanding that I was going all the way to the ascension, I realized there was a callback scene when Jesus is on the beach, and he tells them to, they've been out fishing all night, and he tells them to pull up toss the net off the other side of the boat, and they do, and then it fills with fish, and then Peter goes, it's the Lord, because that's the miracle when they met, right? Throw the net in, and it fills with fish. And I'm like, that's a callback, like in classic story writing. That's that's what you call a callback. And so I realized that I didn't have that scene in earlier, but there was this gap that I had to fill right where that is in the story, which was really weird. So I went back and I filled it in. So there they are, Peter and Andrew fishing all night. They pull in. Jesus is preaching on the beach. They show up. He sees them. This is the first time they meet. He jumps in their boat. He says, we didn't catch nothing. He said, that's cool. Go back out anyways. And then Peter's kind of put off, but he does with it anyways. And then he's sitting there with his arms crossed. And he says, what now? And he says, go fishing. He says, we didn't catch any fish. And he says, go fishing. And then Peter, disgruntled, grabs the nets, throws them into the water, still disgruntled, until it fills with fish. And then he bows down before Jesus and says, I am dirty. Don't touch me, Lord. Jesus says, you're the rock. And then the other boat, which was in a previous scene, comes up, and that's John and James. Is it John and James? I don't know. It's 2 of the other ones. And then this is a little beat that I put in because the scripture does talk about how they looked behind them. They didn't look behind them, but they left everything behind. And I was all, it's funny when you're like drawing this stuff and you're pacing it out, you really kind of get another grasp on what's happening, because as fishermen, that's their money. That's their bread and butter, right? So they just caught the biggest haul of their lives to the point that their boats were going to sink. They bring him to shore, and Jesus says, "Give everything up and follow me." It'd be like you just, won the freaking lotto, and he's like, "Hey, drop that card off and come with me," because what are they can't put the fish in the bank, right? They're just there, and so they look back at the fish and then they follow Jesus anyways. All right, so that was what I filled up.
No.
And
Now, are all of these on a webpage now, or they're going up?
no, if you want to read the whole thing, I can send you the Dropbox link, but no, right now they're just on the Dropbox, and I'm just toiling away until I'm done with the whole thing. And I got a friend, we're supposed to be connecting with another guy who's connected to just a bunch of ministries and churches and stuff, so that we can try to get this out to as many people as possible. So
No, they hit.
we'll see how it all works out in the end,
They won.
but I believe it's what I should be doing right now.
White, purple.
I'd keep doing it. I do like I said, or like Dennis said, do the whole.
Let's go.
Just
No
keep
way,
doing it
Cyrus.
until you die.
Well,
That was me.
I'll do the Gospels until this is done, and then I'll see what happens with the project as a whole. And if it warrants going back, I might go back and do, I don't know which book I would do first. Genesis, maybe. Just go back to the beginning.
Back to the bank.
You've read the Calvin and Hobbes books, right?
Oh yeah, I love
I
Calvin.
would get them printed like in
Yeah.
that size. You know how they got.
I was thinking like the four and four, so
yeah,
8 on
and
each
they're
page.
They're long.
Yeah,
I
I
don't even know the dimensions.
It's with the illumination, Micah. So that's the journey.
Like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, these are 2 up, so, and then huge gutters. I don't know if that's, it's either that or I could make them square,
Nah, only you hit.
so the book is actually smaller, so it's like more wieldy, because this is unwieldy. This is like lay on the, you're a kid, you're laying on the floor with this spread open in front of you, and it's like this wide, and you're just sitting there with your cookies, just eating this, that kind of thing. But it is kind of unwieldy. Such good stuff, though. I don't know. That's another thing we'll probably have to figure out when we get there. So
He's opening the big case. You can see it.
all right. So what else is going on?
I don't know.
Is
Why
Flash
did you want to
still
start
playing?
a stream? Who?
Flash.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of that.
I watched it, but I just had to dip out because I can't stand listening to John Malin.
Oh no, he's finally finished.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Which means he goes over to Rumble.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so he can talk about things he's not allowed to talk about on YouTube.
Now you tied.
Yeah, I saw y'all chatting, and I thought Seven was going to come on.
Let's go.
What a
I
bum.
know, but apparently Seven thinks he's too boring for YouTube, so whatever.
Like that.
It's all good. See, what is going on? I've been so busy just drawing. I haven't paid much attention to anything. Hobbit Jesus. Let's see, we got 7 talking about Hitler. We got
Oh, what did you think about Lauren Boebert? Lauren Boebert.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah. Did you hear? Did you see
Um,
the video?
Dang.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that? What a
dressed
freak!
fit like a glove, I'll tell you that.
She's hot, man.
I mean, her face. I don't want to be all judgmental and stuff like that. Because
Right.
my wife's super hot. But you know, she's. I mean, between her and AOC, Boebert. But
Oh yeah.
but I think. I mean, did she just leave her husband?
Yeah, and it's so funny is so did Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What?
Makes me, yeah, she just got a divorce too.
What are these women doing?
I
I don't think anyone's running it.
they just get this power, I suppose, and I don't know. It's very odd. It's very odd to me because she's from Utah, not Utah. I forget where she's from, but they have
Hit the 28.
because she has 5 or 6 children.
Boebert
So
or
it's-
Green?
Boebert, yeah, she has like a lot of children.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's weird.
did she leave them, or what is the deal?
Wait, join Mike is purple. Did you?
Okay, let's see. Lauren Boebert divorce. I hate to dig into this stuff. Okay, she's got 4 boys.
Yeah, okay, 4. It's still a lot of children.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a body like my wife after 5 kids. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, she just has that. You know, some women just don't change at all when after they have a child. You know, it's very odd how some women are lucky like that.
Yeah, my daughter gets mad at me because I fat shame people and I call it out, and and I'm like, nobody has to be fat. First of all, right? There's no. You go to Ethiopia. Nobody has a thyroid condition in West Africa. Nobody has a thyroid condition in South America. It's like the thyroid condition is the American diet, right? And because we were watching that 90-day, what is it called? 90-day engagement. You heard of
No
that?
idea. Mm-mm.
It's something about like these, because my wife was watching it and I was just kind of in there. I'm like, what in the hell is this? So there's people that they have like 90 days to choose whether or not they're going to get married, because the other partner, they're like, one of them's American and one of them's from another country. And so they have like this, like one of them was like an old fling, and they're like, they got them together and wanted to decide if they wanted to move to, but one of them was pregnant, and I'm like, I made some crap. She's like, oh, I don't want this thing. I'm like, yeah, you just want a pizza. And my daughter got home. She's like, you're so mean. She's all, some people just put on that kind of weight when they're pregnant. I'm like, nobody has to put on 200 pounds when they're pregnant. It's just not a thing. You don't have to eat for 4 when you're pregnant. Yeah, Jiminy. But it's just it's realistically, it's not a necessity, and people that use it as an excuse, it's like, it's your diet. It's,
Well, her family.
oh my
is
gosh,
a
look who
pretty-
decided to show up.
Yes, I thought you were in bed. That's not bed. It's a
Yeah.
garage.
Your bed's in the garage?
Say something.
7 of
Hey.
9 lives.
Well, now that you're here, I'm going to use the restroom.
All right.
Right. Peace.
All right, 7. So you've read all of the 9 lives books.
9 Lives books.
You're wearing a
Shane's
9
books?
lives hat. Shane's books. Yeah.
Yeah, I read.
Have you read all the books?
I read Starlight Cats, and I read Inglorious Rex.
Is anything else out?
And I haven't gotten anything else.
Okay. How are they? How's the writing?
It's pretty good. Starlight Cats was good. Inglorious Rex was good. The art was beautiful. Well, it's Shane Davis.
Yeah, Shane's a great artist.
It's not, huh?
Shane's a great artist.
A little bit better than you, I would think. What do you think about that, Mike?
Hey, that's your opinion. That's your opinion.
I liked Inglorious Rex was kind of fun. Starlight Cast is kind of fun. Shane is kind of fun.
So if the books are really good, that's what I'm asking about. What do you posit is the reason he's losing 20% of his audience each campaign?
Well, I don't even know if that's true. I don't know.
I
what you're saying.
I did the math.
Oh, good for you. You
Well,
counted
I'm just
Shane's
trying to
money.
track on this thing because that to me, see,
Why is he
that's why I
losing
wanted to get your
popularity?
opinion on what you thought, and feel free to pipe in on that, Money, Jay.
What, Shane's book?
Yeah, why is Shane
because
losing
he's saying they're
popularity?
good books, right? Obviously, the art's great because Shane's a great artist, but he's saying they're also well written. So I said, well, what then do you posit is the reason that his campaigns are losing 20% backer of his backers or dollar amount, either way, however you
How
slice
popular
it per
is
campaign?
Lone Star Mind of the Monster
It
compared
doesn't matter
to
because you know
Lone
why
Star
that
Soul
went
the
down.
Soldier?
There's completely different situation. Shane didn't
it?
leave Comicsgate and then get torched for 2 years by Ethan. So
I personally believe Shane is releasing too many books too fast
What?
for
I don't
like
think so.
the type of hype that could be placed around a certain IP. You know what I mean? Like, so the Ascend book, I mean, it looks okay. I would never buy. I haven't bought any of Shane's books. Like, I'm not in the. I don't want a cat book. The Ascend book, I'm just not interested in. It has like that old, not Street Fighter, but what was that one with the dude with the hat on the street? It has that type of feel to it.
Dude with the hat on the street.
Remember the video game? He had the orange hat and he had he had the knuckles that were wrapped up.
Oh, Street Fighter.
No, I just said not Street Fighter. The other one, Rage of the Street, Street of the Rage, Street Rage, something
Streets
like that.
of Rage. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was Streets of Rage. It has like that type of
Which one
feel
does?
to it.
See, I think
Inglorious
Shane.
Rex or
I haven't
Ascend
backed
or
any of
Starlight
Shane's
Cat?
stuff. I haven't backed any of Shane's
None of
stuff,
it?
but other than Starlight Cats, I think he's got really original ideas, and they sound like a lot of fun. And if you're
are.
so art top notch. You're saying the writing's really good. I think the ideas are really good. He's losing 20% per campaign.
Bless him.
Why?
How much? I don't know. How much you use losing
I personally
per
think-
Lone Star?
I personally think he's pumping out
I'm
books.
not.
and
This
it's
isn't
not
about.
changing.
I'm not attacking him. This is freaking doing the math on why is someone,
know.
and it's not just
The
him,
answer-
dude. It's freaking Malin.
The
It's
answer to your
everybody.
question is I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
across
if
the
Shane
board.
is losing 20% of whatever, and I don't know why.
Well, John's doing a good job with his, he opens a campaign and then a few months later he'll open a same campaign with a different cover. So he is making a decent amount. I don't think he's losing a 20%
From his
per
peak.
campaign because he launched the other one without the Dale Keown cover and then he launched it with the Dale Keown cover, right?
I don't know. I haven't done the math on John's.
Yeah.
book.
So and then those two, yeah, and then he did that last time as well. So I like more of John's approach. Like he has like a certain hypeness that he can do on his channels in respect to his books with intros and always being on certain channels and all that. But
Romulus.
I don't really
Well,
see
his graveyard shifts tanked after number 2.
Trump. Look at Trump's eyes on your shirt.
I
How
know
many
it's
does he have?
weird,
How
right?
many graveyard shifts are there?
Yeah, but and he didn't. He stopped doing the art after number 2 or 1. Who did number 2? Which is
I
the
think
one
he
that
did.
Aaron Alfecci
Wait
did?
for me. Wait for me.
Oh yeah.
or
Well,
three.
he had 2 different artists, I think, in that book.
The Aaron Alfecci one was the highest funded graveyard shift.
I might
Let me
Hmm.
see if this is.
What is it? What does that mean?
I think that was the peak of Comicsgate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost there, Silas.
Yeah, if it was, what it's on the decline. Comicsgate is circling down the toilet, circling down the drain. It's
No, it's just there's attrition that nobody
waning.
wants to deal with.
Huh?
Well, and another thing is as well,
Nobody.
the issue number 1 will always sell more,
That's not true.
no matter what. In
No.
some respect,
$10.
That's comic book store stuff where issue number 1 comes in. They order the maximum
More.
amount of number 1, and then they don't know what the orders are for number 2, 3, or 4 until number 1 sells. And then when number 1 sells, that's when they're ordering for issue 4.
right?
So and then you usually get a decline until 3, and then if number 1 does well, then it pumps back up at number 4. But in crowdfunding, you're supposed to build issue to issue. That's why freaking Lone Star went from $113,000 to $180,000 from 1 to 2, right? And then it was
Did it?
similar
Two
with
made more than one.
2. Yeah, 2 made friggin' 60-70% more than 1.
But then number
And then
three,
I think that was the
which
same
is
thing with
not out
Graveyard
yet.
Shift, right? Same thing here with
But Lone Star
Cyberfrog.
3,
Cyberfrog.
Mind of the Monster, is not out in the public yet.
It's not out yet. And plus, that's, again, you know what happened with My Name Monster.
If you don't get a coaster for your dang cup, all that water is dropping off.
It's got a napkin on it. Stuck to it. My coaster doesn't absorb. It's a piece of slate.
Yeah. It's late one too. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, no, but there's attrition is a natural thing in any business, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's a car lot, whatever the business is. Attrition is natural. You're going to over time, whether it's due to death or just loss of interest or you pissed people off, whatever it is, you're going to lose customers over time. That's why you have to constantly be building your
I think
business
Shane
base
Davis
to
is
overcome the attrition.
having the best time of his life right now, doing what he's doing, and that
Who?
is
Yeah.
Shane Davis. I think Shane Davis is having the time of his life right now, practicing his craft and tarting his wares. It's his art, his comic book stories. I think he's happier now doing what he's doing and maybe making as much, if not more money now than he was a couple of years ago.
Ocean Case kind of.
I would agree. I obviously I don't know what his finances were before or what they are now after shipping and all that stuff.
you
But
wanna
I would
count
agree. I think he's
How
doing
many
quite
percentage points his comic books have fallen.
well because I'm tracking how
Mm.
the attrition, and again, this is attrition because this is the pie. You guys are all not you guys. You guys are the pie. The backers are the pie.
Yeah.
But there's only one pie. We used to always say it's like we all got to
No,
go
there's
out
more
there and
than
make
one
our own
pie.
pies, right? Very few
No,
people
there's
in
more than
space
one
are
pie,
actually doing
bro.
that, right? John Della Rosa is doing it. Michael Bancroft is doing it. You know, guys who are doing content in order to find new viewers, new supporters from outside of Ethan's bubble, right? Those guys are the ones making their pies, and their pies might be small now, but 2-3 years from now, they might be bigger than
Well,
me.
I know for a fact, like certain, because I'm in quite a few chats. Just as someone in the chat, there's certain groups of people who like that are in Shane stream and Mandy stream and even Finatra stream that you don't see in Ethan's, that you don't see in certain other chats as well. So, I firmly believe they're building their own pie.
Yeah.
But
Are there okay? So, like I gave the example of JDA. JDA is doing pop culture content for the express purpose of building his own audience, right?
yeah.
Because I don't follow all of these other guys like I do with John. I don't know who is and who isn't doing that. Are they just live streaming and like trying to? And I'm just asking because I don't know. Are they live streaming and trying to just feed the audience that are already there, or are they creating short form content that actually builds their channel outside of that?
Yeah.
bubble?
I know Bancroft, Camel Moon.
I know Bancroft is.
All those guys definitely do. That's for sure. Especially like the ones who stream in different times, different time zones. And I notice even people like Vic, who stream in really obscure times, they get a lot of British folk who, you know what I mean? So there is.
Yeah, there's a guy, and I apologize to him, but he does a Game of Thrones channel, but he's Comicsgate.
Jeremy.
Is that who that is?
Well, Jeremy kind of split himself off and is really focused on himself, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't really see him as much as you used to in other streams. And that's Snuggy and Aldous. They've kind of, because they've like Snuggy and Aldous, they really hate Ethan now and all that stuff.
Really?
That's a part of the Jeremy group and all that stuff. So there's definitely a rift that's been created.
Are they still Comicsgate?
Yes,
maybe their
and
own.
so are you, Mike.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not.
maybe. So I think anyone in this independent sphere that bounces around to all these different chats, who may not hit up Ethan or John, but they hit up the other dudes. They're, you know what I'm saying? Like Fowler. Like Fowler clearly hates Ethan, but he's always on Finatra's channel and all that stuff. So it's like there's little enclaves, just little enclaves that have been created. So, and then you got like Luke. You have Luke and Jason Vasquez and the Matt Barr side of the things. They
Your
have
favorite?
they have their own yeah. I'm sure he's doing to other people what he did to me a long time ago.
Yeah, God bless him.
Okay, so these guys, because I see Del Rose growing. How are those other guys?
Del Rose, for
Are their
sure.
channels growing?
Shane, Mandy, for sure. I see Delarose. I see Camel Moon. He has they've created the Bancroft, Camel Moon, and Phil the Diaz
There's
brothers.
another health salad
that's
coming out soon.
Yeah, it's its own little niche.
Did you see all those health salads that Camel Moon did?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Were they funny,
reading a link
Mike?
of
Did
it.
you think they were funny?
No, I gotta get something big.
Is that
Did you
the
see-
cartoons?
Yeah. Like
I
the
haven't
Space
seen one
Ghost
for years.
Coast to Coast. Really? And how
You
can
talking about
ask?
his Comicsgate cartoon? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, like when
Yeah.
the
Oh no, I missed oh my god.
where he just takes the audio from.
Yeah, with the
Different shows.
animation.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a
Puts
new
them
one
up there.
coming out. He has a new one finally coming out.
Oh, has he not done one
Like
for
that.
years?
Yeah, because he's been doing those comic books,
Couple years.
and I think he also works for a company that does production as well.
Mm.
So I don't know if he still has that job, but
I mean,
animation takes forever. So
Mike, why
Oh,
should
yeah.
I pay attention to you more than I pay attention to Ethan or Shane or John or or Cecil or any of them? Why should I pay attention to you more than or any less than I do to them?
I mean, do what you want to do, man.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean.
I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but
I'm not
I
trying to
don't
make
think
my
that
bread
was
and
really
butter
that
on
bad,
freaking
James.
YouTube, man.
Do I think
I
that
just do
James-
this for fun. I'm not. My bread and butter doesn't come from me being a YouTube personality and selling
Are you sure?
Lone Star or anything else. My bread
Then
and
why
butter
are
comes
you on YouTube if it doesn't? If it
It's fun.
helps, though.
because I literally did this tonight because my iPad was out of battery, so I couldn't work anymore, and I get bored just watching stuff. So that's why is somebody gonna stream? Just so I don't know.
So
I think
do
it's
you have
fun.
a spreadsheet? Have you been recording on a spreadsheet these campaigns?
No, you just go to Backer Tracker and somebody asked, I'm not going to say who, but somebody asked me, they're like, how did Shane's, because Shane was wrapping up his first 30 days. And they're like, how did Shane's last campaign do first 30 days in? So I went back and I looked it up and it did 21% better. And then I went back to the previous one before that, and that one did 20% better than that one. So there's an overall from his peak campaign, which was Inglorious Rex 1, he's down 37%, I think,
Bless.
to his latest campaign. So, and he's still doing great money, so I'm sure he's not crying
Yeah.
about that. But I'm just worried about long-term, like I said, growth. If these guys, and I see Ethan finally paying attention, he's doing some short-form videos again to try to build up the thing, which I think is good for the overall market because he's the bottleneck for most of those guys. Because most of the guys, most of the kings, they're not
I'm gonna send you some McDonald's.
they're not
Yeah.
building audience. They're feeding off of Ethan's audience, just like I did, just like Malin does, just like everybody else did. It's all Ethan's audience, and then they are beholden to that audience. But if they're not out there doing something specific to grow an individual audience, then they suffer the same attrition that Ethan suffers. And
So
so
why do I still pay attention to you if
You
were
love me,
siphoning
bro.
off of Ethan's audience?
I'm handsome. I'm entertaining.
Yeah, see, I always
Yeah,
I
kinda
hear what you're saying,
yeah.
Tevin. I agree. I had a problem with when you originally said, because a lot of people found you through Ethan, and you're like, essentially,
Mhm.
don't watch me if you have allegiance to Ethan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know why
You
that
did.
happened.
You pointed
Well,
your
yeah,
finger
yeah.
at us, Mike. If you
But
pay attention to Ethan, if that's the only reason you pay attention to me, then stop following me.
I know.
But I think
I
the
did
type
say it.
of the
You
camaraderie
didn't say it like that.
in the chat is
I didn't say it
built.
like
And John does have because like Cecil and John, they do streams now sometimes where they have hundreds more than Ethan does,
Yeah, the Jack Show is the top.
and
Huge
even
show.
random
1,300 viewers.
random
Yeah,
John
even when-
streams.
Oddly enough, though, the Jack Show doesn't sell books.
It's,
Yeah, that's more of a
that was
radio
Kelsey's
show.
whole
meant to
issue.
be. It's not the Jack Show is not meant to.
I
I know.
feel like
Books.
it's a
I know.
radio entertainment.
But that's the same
show.
thing. Okay, dude, I paid attention to something, and I'm sure I hope I don't get blowback for this because I'm not anti anybody
you
in
will.
this scenario, but I was paying attention to Ripa's his closeout stream, right? Because Shane was on there. And Shane was on there for about an hour pitching his book. And I went back to the beginning when Shane came on and I saw what his book was at. And then I paid attention to where it was at when he closed out that.
How much did
Hey.
it make?
Yeah, from being on Ripa's show. Yeah,
From
much
being
did it
on
make?
Ripa's show. Can you not see
Yeah.
this?
I don't see Ripa being
He didn't
a
make one
salesman.
freaking sale while he was
Yeah.
on Ripa's
Not
show.
one.
I don't see him being a
New
salesman
backer,
of
not
other
one.
people's.
No.
$80.
So it's like if he was if there was a similar scenario and it was like Ethan's, he would have made sales, right? But I think Ripa's audience is there for Ripa, period. Right?
Hmm.
So I don't think like, and Eric Weathers was there too, and he was there the whole show, and I think he got like 5 sales. Right? And it's like
Eric Weathers
Ripa
did
had
for
constantly about 1,000 people on that live
Battle
stream the
Brick
whole
too.
time. Huh? Come again, Seven?
Eric Weathers got more sales than Shane did on Ripa's stream.
Yep.
Good for Eric.
Yeah. And yeah, and that was, I mean, obviously, again, Shane did
there was a
Shane
Black
did a
Wizard of
cover.
Oz. So since there was a Black Wizard of Oz, and they
That's-
saw Eric Weathers
been it.
doing a new one, the black crowd may have been like Michael Jackson.
Hmm.
It's not
Mhm.
Ripa's audience is not the black crowd, dude.
Are you sure, Mike? You sure Ripa's audience
pretty
isn't
sure.
mostly black?
I'm pretty sure. And I'll tell you, I
Right.
was pretty freaking astonished because I thought that would be a huge boost to his campaign. And I was like looking at
Was
the
Shane
and I was
boring
like,
on
"You're
Ripa's
kidding
stream?
me. That's crazy. No, Shane was good. He was Shane, and he was, he
How
did
many
one of the covers
Sales
for the
did Shane
Ripperverse
get
campaign.
from being on what's his name? Brett's stream. Brett Dvorak, whatever his name is.
I don't know. I don't know what that is.
Oh, the Tim
The
Pool
Tim
thing.
Pool guy. Yeah.
I'm just gonna spam this.
I have no idea.
Brett and Mary.
I have no idea. I know Friday Night Tights moves books, but it was just weird that Ripa like.
No, I don't want to do
And the next day I looked back too to see if there was any replay bonus, and it was like 3 books.
I just don't see Ripa's streamed as what
It's
some
not
of the Comicscape dudes do. Like I don't.
Yeah,
That's not. I just don't see that.
no.
What
It's
kind of
like I said,
sales
they're
bump
there
did you
for
get,
Ripa, and they're
Mike?
buying.
What kind of sales
Ripa's-
bump did you get for the Trump book when Dean Cain said he liked it?
Well, I had Dean. He would
Magnificent
share
Seven.
it off. I mean, he'd share it. I couldn't tell
Did
you
get a bump
exactly how
from
many.
Dean Cain?
I'm sure I did. I just don't know what it was because I
Yeah.
sold a bunch of signed
know
Dean
how-
Cain covers.
But you know how much Shane didn't get on Ripa's stream.
Or he's just
I-
being observant.
I was just being observant, and I mean, surprised. Because I don't want to say anything bad against any of these guys, but that was weird. That was just weird to me to see that. I was like, man, that is no freaking. Hey, there you go.
Mm.
Pixel Trader said Anna hosted a closeout sales stream for us, and it was our second best day of sales. That's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah, Anna's a good salesman. Like there's just certain
Well,
people
also,
who
your
are salesmen
closeout day is always your second best day.
that are good salesmen for they're good. They're hypesmen. Like Anna is a hypesman. She can hype people up and get the people in her audience to purchase.
Yeah,
I don't think like 'cause
and they're
if you
conditioned
look at
to it.
Ripa's chat. Like in Ripa's chat, you barely see any CG names.
Yeah.
Very, you know. What
I
I'm
don't watch
saying?
them that often.
Yeah, it's not that. And then now that because he's rich and famous, quote unquote, he don't even do the streams the way that he used to do them before.
Yeah, Fuzzy,
Yeah.
that's my point. That Ripa's audience is for Ripa, not for the medium. And they're buying. I mean, I hate to be this blunt because anybody says anything critical about Ripa, apparently everybody teams up against them. But I don't think 80% of those guys are even cracking that book open once they buy it. They're just buying a tchotchke. They're just buying a baseball hat or a sweater. They're just buying something to support Ripa, and more power to them. But
Huh.
that's not how you change culture.
Well, I think with everything else that he does, that is how he changes culture, and one of the avenues is comics. Because he said in his streams back in the day that he always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I
mean,
don't-
Someone like Ripper is he's a whole different, like, because he has the music, and then he has his bitch out streams. And now he's in comics, and then he's on Glenn Beck. So the people that works with him at Glenn Beck also spent some money to support him to buy his shit.
I'm
Good
sure
talker.
some, but I don't think it's a big deal like some people make it out to be. Let me ask you a question though. What do you think when now realizing that his fans essentially don't care about other comic creators, right? If that's the case, if that whole you're shaking your head, but
No,
do you
okay,
disagree?
so yeah, 2 of 9 said, "Here, 7 of 9, here is your Christmas present," and I opened it, and it was a copy of ISOM #1. 2 of 9 knows what comic books are. He knows who Superman and Batman and all those people are, but he can give a shit. But he cared enough about me to pay attention to Eric July, Young Ripa, and say, "Oh, he's got a comic book. I think my little brother would like this, so I'm going to."
Does he read comics?
No,
Does
he
he?
doesn't.
Does he watch Ripa regularly?
He watched him at least once, at least long enough for him to recognize that, okay, this guy has a comic book, and my brother likes comic books, so I'm going to buy my brother this comic book.
Right. Okay. Well, that's
And I don't know if
anecdotal,
my brother
which is fine.
disagrees with Ripa on his like political views or whatever, or his
Well, my
musical talent. He knew who he was.
It's
enough.
okay,
It was
7.
Easy enough to. Okay, what?
I'm just saying that's anecdotal. The fact that
That's all I have.
thousands of people watching Ripa and Shane, and he didn't get any backers. I think that lends a little more credence to at least a majority of his backers.
That's all I have is
not
anecdotal
caring.
evidence, Mike. I don't have.
I know, but I'm just trying to.
haven't
I'm trying to analyze something, and then get your guys' speculation on what do you think will happen when Ripa comes out with another book, which will be a phenomenal book. Alpha Core is going to be a great book. Chuck Dixon and Joe Bennett. It's going to be an awesome book, but essentially Eric is going to have almost nothing to do with it.
Well, you know what?
How do you think?
Almost nothing to do.
It's
Almost
gonna
nothing to do with it. Eric is going to have almost nothing to do with it. Are you sure?
Creation wise,
It might make more
Mm.
because you have the whole Chuck Dixon crew, so who just will buy whatever Chuck puts out.
Almost nothing to do with it. Eric is going to be
But
hands off.
also another
he's
thing
going to
too is
promote it. I'm talking about creation wise. Eric
Yeah,
just
he's
gave.
not gonna have anything to say about that.
You think Stan Lee, when he hired, or editors in chief, when they hire other people, they have a whole lot to do with the comics that they create?
not
I've been in this
necessarily.
business for 30 years. I know how it works. Trust me, Eric's going to have very little to do with the creation of Alpha Core. I know whereof I speak. Who's Chuck Dixon?
He's that one guy that did that one thing.
He's a legendary comic book creator. Created Bane, but his creator-owned crowdfunding stuff, it doesn't do a
Yeah.
inch of what
Yeah.
Ripa did. It doesn't do a tenth of what Ripa did.
Well, who's the older guy, the older gentleman? He's been putting out a bunch of campaigns, and they don't make a lot either.
Baron
Yeah, Baron.
too.
And then you got Lepresti and all that. So they're not going to have what they had in terms of success. I think that's clear. But
I think Baron's
Rather have
doing well, isn't
conviction,
he?
or is there safety in numbers?
I don't
Mike
think.
Baron
I don't think.
is
Oh,
following his
Mike.
conviction. he's writing what he wants to write. Is there
Yeah.
safety in numbers in that, or is it his conviction?
I'm gonna hold on a second.
And I see people like, and that's the thing with like Shane and like who we were just talking about. You know, not everything that they put out is going to be monumental compared to another thing that they put out, especially if they're putting things out so rapidly. So Shane's in 3 years has put out 3 different IPs essentially, and you know, you're just not going to have, like, not every one of your albums are going to sell as good or might sell better than the previous or your next one. So you're you're always going to have that in type of American purchasing. There's just no way to guarantee that you'll always make more than the previous IP that you put out. I just don't see it. I don't see that as being you know, like a gauge to whether or not Comicsgate is being successful or losing people over these years, even though we have, because you know there's a lot of names in the chat who never come around anymore. So
Gonna go.
you know, it's it's hard to speculate, but it's
it.
obvious that people who are talented, such as Shane and Yanzi, not everything they put out, especially if they've already put out 3 monumentally different IPs, like there's just I don't see, unless you have hardcore people, I don't see everyone
How many-
purchasing.
How many
Their
people do you
their
think are
stuff.
in Comicsgate? 10,000? 5,000
I would say there's roughly 10,000
ish.
Not well-
10,000.
backers, people who are willing to back. I'd say probably 10,000, and they won't back everything, obviously, but
Yeah, even I don't back everything, you know what I mean? And there's just no way. And you know, sorry I didn't buy any Shane books and things like that.
I think
Yeah,
if you might stretch it to 12,000, but I think at the peak there
Not
was
15.
probably over. I think at the peak there was over 15.
You think it's dropped like 30,000, 40,000 people?
Yeah, no, not 30,000.
Was there
30%.
ever
You
that
mean
many people? Were there ever
30%? You mean
40,000
not
people?
Oh, I
30?
thought you said 50,000.
No, 15.
15. Well, you can just, like, if you look at the Ethan's books, of course, the most people are going to buy Ethan out of anyone else in this category.
Yeah, here's the trick on
Yeah.
that though is it's not Kickstarter, so you can't get an accurate count of how many people are actually backing, because every backing counts as another backer. So if somebody buys 12 different tiers, he counts as 12 backers.
So if I backed it 3 times, it counts me as 3 discrete backers.
Yeah.
And you know Ethan has a bunch of people backing more than
Instead
once.
of one unique one.
You know, an example you could make with Shane and Ethan is Ethan's books and Ethan's toys. You know, and then another example is that
Don't eat all my beef jerky.
the compendium book or whatever it
Stop
was that
eating
he
his
put
beef
out.
jerky.
I've been making homemade beef jerky.
Your beef jerky.
Look at this stuff. It is
What's that?
glorious.
Are they better than loquats?
Yes, much better than loquats.
Yeah.
Actually, my friend gave me some deer, and I made some deer jerky too. So, but
Yeah.
good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
That's
So
my jerky.
I
That's
mean,
my
Mike.
jerky.
Obviously, you know, there's no love lost between me and Ethan, so I don't really care about him doing well.
Yes, you do.
But like I said, Ethan is the bottleneck, and I do care about some of the people that are in his lifeboat because they're my friends. And so that was my concern. That's why I have harassed Ethan about growing his channel again, because it's like, you're the bottleneck. These guys don't know how to grow their own audience, right? So they're all.
What does that mean? He's the bottleneck. What do you mean? Ethan's
That means
the
if
bottleneck.
Ethan doesn't grow the pie, the pie just shrinks for the guys, not the John Della Roses and the Michael Bancrofts and the guys that are trying to grow their own pies, but for everybody in that lifeboat who is feeding off of Ethan's stream of backers, right? They are all dependent on Ethan continuing to bring in new viewers and new backers. He's the
It's their
marketing
fault.
arm of Comicsgate, or of EVS Comics, however you want to phrase it. The Comicsgate kings, unless like Graham happens to get on Friday Night Tights, or as he gets, Graham made the rounds. He got on He got on Friday Night Tights. I got him on Shadiversity.
He's also on Kickstarter, isn't he?
Does he do Kickstarter?
I don't know.
I'll be
Or
honest.
Billy Tucci
I don't-
does, or Graham
Billy
does,
Tucci
or
does,
One
yeah.
of them does, even though John.
Yeah, but
is
Billy's
like,
out
"Fuck,
there. Billy's
Screw
Billy's-
Kickstarter.
Billy is halfway doing the Brian Polito route and halfway doing the Comicsgate route, because he comes on and he's very friendly with Comicsgate. He's never pledged allegiance to Comicsgate, and I know why personally, because I've had a conversation with
He
him.
has. He's come out and
He hasn't.
explicitly said, "I am Comicsgate."
When did he do that?
Billy Tucci has. I'm Comicsgate.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Yeah, because I know why he won't. I'm not. It was a private conversation, so I'm not going to divulge. But,
Okay.
but he's very. I mean, he obviously he agrees with everything Comicsgate, and he loves all the Comicsgate people. So I'm not saying he would say anything. He's 100% copacetic with Comicsgate, but there's a reason he doesn't fly the flag, right? But he's also, like Brian Polito, out there at conventions constantly growing his own personal brand and trying to get people to support his stuff through there. And Brian Polito is, bar none, the most successful crowdfunder of comics in this space. I don't care if he hasn't done $1 million campaign yet. He does $500,000 campaigns every 3 freaking months. So he's killing everybody else in this space, because he has spent 10 years building up his crowdfunding paradigm, the way he does it. And Billy is very much taking a page out of his book, and at the same time piggybacking on the Comicsgate Kings and all that stuff. So I think long term, Billy is going to be a very, very, very successful crowdfunder.
And also, he's been independent forever
Oh yeah,
with Crusade and all
and,
that.
and
jazz.
everybody loves him. Nobody doesn't love Billy Tucci.
Yeah.
But he has another one of those established IPs that only a handful of people have in this little networking realm that is Comicsgate.
So is Mind of the Monster the last that we're going to see of Lone Star and Angel?
For right now, it is.
Bobby?
I'm never gonna. I mean, I have 2 other stories in that trilogy to tell, which would be 2 other trilogies.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
I do have stories to tell, but if I don't know.
But
I'm
that's
not
your
focused
IP.
on it right now.
No, Mike. That's
Huh?
the only Lone Star is the only original character that I know of that you've made.
Did you not get
what was that? The
Six Gun Samurai, The Imaginaries, Deal with the Devil,
Imaginaries?
Lullaby?
Those were all
what else
yours.
did I those are just ones I've published. I've got so many more in the freaking.
You
barrel.
published, but they're yours, like yours.
Yeah,
yours.
They're mine. Yeah. Deal with the Devil for a minute there was optioned by Lionsgate to be made into a movie. I've got it. I've actually had producers like fighting over that project, and it's in development hell right now. So someday it'd be nice if that actually gets made into a movie, but we'll see. But
Someday
yeah,
you'll get back to it.
I've got all kinds of stuff. Lone Star is just one of many things.
The Atomic Family. That one was pretty cool.
Yes.
Which one was that?
I know. I want to do that. I want to do God Sword. I want to do. Oh gosh, I got to change the name of that one.
Pick one. Which one is it? You've got a lot.
I do have a lot,
All
but right now I'm working
Pick
on
one.
Afar. So Afar will be the next thing to hit the stage.
Fedora.
Boop.
Don't have Fedora.
Let's go.
Fedora, I like it.
And we'll see how that does. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff, dude. It's not. I'm not some guy with one idea. I've got constant ideas. I've got a
Mhm.
City in the Sky is a project I'm trying to get my daughter to illustrate. I started writing it. That's a really fun
You
one.
paid her yet?
For what?
No.
That thing. Pay Aiden. Aiden needs to be paid.
That's a meme.
I know. Have you paid her?
It depends on what you're talking about. I've
Yeah. All right. Don't answer.
I
That's
took
fine.
I took what I owed her in certain respects and I paid her, and I took what I owed her in certain respects and I put it on her ledger so that she'd have cryptocurrency
Attaboy.
that she wouldn't
All right.
sell. Here's the thing.
Good job.
So as my kids turn 18, I told them they can move out or they can pay rent by investing $500 a month in cryptocurrency for themselves.
Please
They don't have to
pay
pay it to
that.
me. They just have to invest. And
Mhm.
Elijah has been pretty diligent about it, so he's got a nice little crypto
Bless him.
nest egg.
When's he getting married?
February.
Wow, that's coming up.
I know. My wife's like always talking about wedding stuff. I'm like, leave me alone. But my daughter, she's a little less good with money, so it's like she'd save up the crypto and then she'd spend it if on. It's like that's not what this is. This was not the agreement.
It's not what we discussed.
Yeah, but I have when I paid her and I just wrote it onto her ledger of what she's got. So she's actually got a good chunk of crypto that I'm holding for her that she can't spend. So when she moves out or gets married or whatever, then I'll be like, all right, here's your crypto. Take it, go with God.
Take it and go with God.
Will there be a crossover with the Imaginaries and Lone Star?
No. Why would
No.
Vampires and imaginary friends.
You know what I wanted to do a crossover with, and maybe I will someday with Matt Fowler's Punchline. Fowler did that, right? Fowler wrote Punchline?
That was a very stressful.
You talking about Costin's book?
No, I'm talking Weldon's book.
Weldon. Yeah, Weldon. Yeah.
Isn't that Fowler? Right?
I don't think Matt
Oh
Fowler
no,
did.
he did
Jawbreaker.
the other one with Weldon, the giant, like the, what was it called? Seiko 66 or something like that. No, but I wanted to do a crossover with Punchline because one of the characters in Punchline is like super, super old, but also super young. So I was like, oh, it'd be great if there was a crossover with that character and Lone Star from like back in the 50s or something. All right. And they had like,
You did a crossover of Lone Star and Jawbreakers.
yeah, Monster Hunt.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's in my boxes.
How'd that work out?
Oh, that was good. That was fun. I think it was a nice little prequel. It would have been fun to kind of spread it out across 48 pages because I thought it read a little too quickly. But
Before Lone Star, and one of them was after Lone Star.
yeah, Monster Hunt 1 is before Lone Star. Monster Hunt 2 is a sequel or is a epilogue.
Yeah.
So you have all the PDFs. You can just read them in order. Did you read the Monster
I
Hunt
have the
books?
comic books.
Oh, and you have the comic books.
I have,
Oh, there you
I
go.
have the comic books, the Monster Hunt with the metal plates and all that stuff. I showed those.
Oh, nice.
Like one of 50, I think.
Seiko 66 looked great, but didn't have much in the way of story. Oh, Bill Williams was Punchline. Weldon is such a great artist, and he'll be coming back and joining us on Drawn and Quartered probably in a few weeks, because I know it's been like years, but he's been well, I'll just say he's been
When's John going to be on Drawn and
otherwise
Quartered
occupied.
again?
John, when he apologizes.
Malin. So never.
I don't think it's in him to apologize.
Hmm.
I know a guy who
Especially
told
'cause
his
he didn't
kids
do
he will
anything
buy
wrong.
them a car if they memorize the Westminster Catechism. All right, sounds good.
Would John even know what to apologize for?
I don't
Nothing.
think he
didn't do
would.
anything wrong.
I don't think he'd understand what betrayal is when it's coming from him.
Hmm. Hmm.
See, John took it personally that I left Comicsgate,
Hmm.
as if somehow me not wanting to associate with Comicsgate was a personal affront to him because of his
Pride.
cult-like adhesion.
Hmm.
What do you mean cult-like? I don't think cult-
It's a joke.
If anything, John's a cult leader, not a cult follower.
No, now he's gonna go do a video. Look, Mike Miller called Comicsgate a cult.
Who, me? I'm not going to do that.
No, Malin.
Oh. You didn't say Comicsgate is a cult. You
No, I said
said
quite the opposite.
a lot of people in Comicsgate act like it's a cult. Or act as
Well,
if
actually,
they're in a cult.
I believe pretty specific that I was saying that War Campaign acted like Comicsgate was a cult. Most of my ire was directed at War Campaign, and then like a year and a half later, everybody else's ire was directed at War Campaign too. So I felt vindicated, but nobody seemed to pay attention.
I really have always disliked the War Campaign. Always.
Well, they're just dissenters.
From
I
the
mean,
first
you're always
word
going
out
to
of
have.
Rose's mouth, I didn't like them.
Yeah, we don't have to rehash that stuff.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I mean, you got you. They
Haven't
haven't
liked
gone
John
anywhere.
Del
They're
Rose since
all
then either.
still here, but it's spread out and not as
Oh my gosh.
because they lost their fame,
Hmm.
and then their
They lost their
streams went down to
shine.
like 20. Huh?
They lost their shine.
Yeah.
No,
that's-
they lost E EVSCG. Same way I did. I turned, I turned, and then Ethan decided to turn his
back on
loyal
you. How dare he?
CG backers against me by
No, he
constantly.
didn't.
Oh my gosh, Seven, bro. This is why I posted that thing. Because every freaking show that Ethan did, he would defame me and talk crap about me and lie about me. And every show he did, I would see hundreds of people unsubscribe from my channel. That is why I posted that. Because I was sick of seeing it every time I could watch it in real time. Ethan does a show, my subscribers went down. Ethan does a show, I got freaking refund requests on my campaign. I got backers every freaking time. And that's when I was so fed up. You see, you guys didn't see it from my perspective. I was so fed up with that I was saying, can we just do this all at once? If you're here because of Ethan and no other reason, just leave now and just cut it off one clean swoop. And it was like, because it was like death by 1,000 cuts and I just couldn't take it anymore. That's why I posted that. And it was ill worded, whatever. I was freaking pissed. That's just what it was.
And then you stopped doing Lone Star until now. I mean, just now you're putting out the third one.
Well, I've had a little problem with colorists, and it wasn't a priority for me because I was doing
It wasn't
NFTs
a
for
priority
couple of
for you,
years.
Mike. Lone Star. It's a great trilogy, Mike. Those 3 books are really, really good.
Yeah,
But you don't have the
unfortunately,
third
only
one out
600
yet.
people bought the third one. I lost 80% of my customers
God damn it.
because of all that bullcrap.
I'm sorry. Gosh darn it.
I know that's what, because I don't do this stuff to make money. I mean,
Yes, you do.
that's a great important thing, is to pay my
Yes, you
bills.
do.
I don't, dude. I'm a creator.
Mike,
You don't
do
understand that.
do it
You don't
because you
understand.
wanna
I'm
make
not
money.
doing. I don't do stuff like this. I don't create to make money. I create so people can enjoy what I make. And when 80% of the people who bought my last book apparently didn't care enough to buy my next book, that's what freaking hurts. It's not the money. It's the freaking, were they just not reading it? Or was it really, it's like their adherence to Ethan more important to them than finding out what happens to my characters in the third book? And that's honestly, I mean, that's what hurt me more than anything else. Because
Yeah, the
that's
second one.
what's important to me.
I could see it.
Well, you're a creator too. Right when you create your book, the most important thing is you want people to enjoy it and
Yeah, I
get
own
it, right?
Yeah.
When you're freaking sitting there and you're writing a story and tears come to your own eyes because you care about the characters and what you're putting them through as their creator, and you want to know. That's why I sent it to you, Seven. That's why I sent it to people, and I'm like, "What do you think? What do you think?" Because I want to know how people react to it. It's not about the freaking $25. I could give a rip about that.
You didn't like how I reacted to some of it. You told me I was
Well,
stupid. Well, you're high.
Oh,
You're
you're
just
not good at fight
following it.
scenes.
You're
Like,
stupid.
bro. I'm not good at drawing fight scenes. You're high.
They were shit, Mike. They were
You're
shit.
insane.
They were a hot mess. I'm sorry
Dude,
for
I
cussing on your stream.
choreographed some of the best fight
They
scenes
weren't
in the
choreographed.
history
They
of
were
comic.
collaged. It was a collage.
Oh my gosh. You're killing me.
It wasn't a choreographed dance. It was a collage of punches and elbows and nut shots. Very well drawn. But not sort of, it didn't sort of spread across the paper like one.
It flows action to action to action to action. It flows across the scene in the Z.
It's not my fault. I don't like your fight scenes.
It really
That's
is.
on you, buddy. That's on you.
It really is. It's really on you. Because did you watch when Well Read User
I
did
tried to
the
watch some of
review on it?
After,
Did you hear
after
Twitless?
I read,
Twitless was
then I watched Well
gushing
Read
over
and
that
Devin.
page. That
Yes,
same
me
page
all.
you're talking about, Twitless was
loved
gushing
it.
over that scene. Twitless said he had to smoke a cigarette after looking
I
at
know
that page.
he's wrong. Yeah. I did.
Guy from Red Bank says, Mike, I'm high and your fight scenes are really good, right?
I'm higher. Fight scenes are really good.
Pixel says, I was really hoping to get my Kim Jong-gi cover signed. I mean, I can sign it for you, but there was never going to be a chance of Kim Jong-gi. Well, unless you took it to him at a con. But yeah, he's dead. So sorry. That's not going to happen. Linkovich says, you heard it, folks. War campaign, too gay for 7 of 9.
What? War campaign is too gay for me? You heard it, folks. War campaign is too gay for. Yes, I think that's true. Yeah. I endorse that message.
No, but that is. I mean, I
I'm
want to be
still
all
confused
freaking
about Joaquin. Though I don't
salty about
know
it.
what the fuck Joaquin is doing. Joaquin Gunther, what that guy's doing.
Do you want me to tell you?
Well, of course I do, but don't spoil anything because number 3 hasn't.
Oh, it would be
been
the biggest freaking spoil.
written
If
and
I ever
distributed
have
yet.
the means to full bore create the entire Blacklist universe.
Well, then
See,
not
that's why I
you have it?
planted those seeds in the book. Those 2 seeds that you saw, the Joachim
Three.
Gunter.
There's three.
Oh, that's true.
That very
Okay,
last one. Home.
The Golden Man with from Riley.
Joaquin.
That seed and the Joachim Gunter seed, those come to a
It's
head
Joseph.
in a storyline.
Kid. It's the same
Way
kid, Joseph.
down.
Oof.
The what?
It's the same kid, Joseph, the green-eyed kid. Joseph. Oof. Gunther, your exile is over. God has need of you.
The seer.
And then that robot in Riley.
It's not the same
He's talking
kid.
to Joseph.
It's not the same
But he's
kid.
talking to Joseph. The green-eyed kid.
But it's not the same kid.
Who? Oh. All right. I totally misread it then.
Yeah. The kid that climbs up the cliff to find Joachim, he's called the seer. He's kind of a prophet. And so he gives Joachim the message from God, and
Your exile is at an
his
end.
exile is at an end. His
Is
exile.
Boaz in there?
God has need of you.
Yeah.
You have Yakim and no Boaz.
No.
Okay.
Only one pillar.
Is that kid that climbs the cliff? Is he the same one that goes through that guy's rift? And at the end of the
No.
day, he's like, home?
No.
And he has
That
green
guy.
eyes. He has green eyes.
That guy. The guy that comes through the tear in time space.
Home?
I'll just tell you one thing. The Blacklist universe, Earth, is a hollow Earth, and that plays
not know that.
into the teleportation and the rifts that's created. So, and that plays into the atomic family very much. So I was planting seeds in Lone Star for an entire universe.
Three different ones. The first one, Heart of the Hero, was what's his name? Joaquin.
Joachim.
The second one was the big shiny robot. That's Heart of the Hero.
Harmony.
And
Yeah, his name is Harmony.
And the third one in Mind of the Monster was that green-eyed guy that came through the rift and said home. So that's
No,
three
that was also
different
in
ones.
2. They were both in 2. The Harmony and the guy coming through the rift were both in issue 2. There was no seeds in issue 3. Pixel says, "Oh, great! So there are Nazis in the center of the Earth." Maybe.
Well, where else you gonna put him?
I love the whole center of the Earth theory.
They have Nazis anywhere, and they might as well
Conspiracy
be
theory,
in the
whatever
center
you
of the earth.
want to call it. I love it. So that's that's where
Does vodka always make your ears so red?
I am Japanese, so you see this?
Have you been drinking, Mike?
Hey, you said he had some vodka.
This whole thing was full of vodka,
Mm.
and now it's
And it's
empty.
not anymore.
Guy says, "My Earth, my universe is flat. My Earth in my universe is flat." Oh, okay. Oh, Pixel, you've got a Hollow Earth too? Yeah. See, Hollow Earth is where it's at, dude. Freaking awesome. I love that theory.
That's Jules Verne kind of stuff, isn't it? Hollow Earth.
Mhm. So much you can do.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of that goes back to really old religious beliefs.
Yeah.
Like in mine, in the third arc of my story, I'm doing a Terra Nam type of thing. which is like underground in the third story, but it's not like a hollow earth. And but it's definitely religious in the in the like in the Egyptian style way. I think it'll be quite interesting.
You working with anybody on the story, or are you just doing it yourself?
No, so far it's just me. So the first one will be like, we'll have the Wotan druids and things like that, and the second story is more based off of kind of Orthodox Catholic visuals that coalesce pretty well with Iranian religious visual types of like the
That's deep,
this
bro.
type of
That's
architecture and
esoteric
things.
bullshit.
Huh?
That's some
Well,
esoteric
it's all
stuff.
esoteric. Everything's esoteric. Esotericism is what religion is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Far.
And the acronym is really cool too.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
It's,
W.O.N.
Isn't that the acronym Wonderful?
no, it's Torah.
Oh, Torah. That's clever.
Yes.
That's funny. Nobody ever asks me when I say that my Bible, my silent Bible adaptation is called
Afar.
Afar. Nobody ever asks me what Afar means.
Let me guess.
Well, isn't that a religious?
You guess, Gay Dollar. Afar. He's doing a visual representation of a certain part of the New Testament.
Well, I
Afar.
immediately think about rubbing a lamp.
That's Jafar.
I know. But what does it mean? It has like an Arabic.
No, Hebrew.
Hebrew? Yeah.
Hebrew.
Yeah. You know what Adam was made of?
Adams.
Mud in Ethiopia.
Clay.
He was made of
spit,
Afar.
and dirt. What?
He was made of Afar. It's the dust of the earth.
Well, everyone is technically.
Okay.
But I think everybody
Is that King
always.
James.
I think people just assume that no, it's Hebrew.
What is it in the King James version of the Bible? That word.
Yeah, but it says
afar.
dust in King James. It just says dust. But it is the word
Yeah,
Afar.
Or
And
ashes.
I think people think it means like far
You're
away.
smart. You're
Afar.
smart.
I'm smart.
You're learned.
Well, I mean, I didn't know it beforehand. I looked it up.
Mm.
But I just thought it was always funny how nobody ever asks me what it means because I think they just assume it means far away, afar, like afar from here.
I didn't, but I was just not curious enough.
No,
Hey, Mike, what does afar mean?
like why are you calling your New Testament gospel story afar? They're far away.
Dust.
All the-
From dust we were made. From to dust we will return. Wow, your ears are red. You got really
Yeah,
red
aren't they?
ears. Look at that.
They were far more red earlier.
They are
Were they
afar.
afar more
Your,
red?
your ears are afar.
He's gonna fall.
Were they moving?
Must be that jerky.
That's weird.
Look at this one. Oh, it's huge. Glorious. It's made out of tri-tip.
We got this guy.
Look at me.
We have a place that sells chicken feed and all that stuff. And this guy, they sell cat food, dog food. It's like a They have everything. But there's a guy who comes in and he brings homemade beef jerky, and it's very thin, but it's extremely tough. And he sells them. So there's like maybe 4 ounces or maybe 5 ounces in there, but they're like $8.
Right.
They're expensive. And it's like the snack is gone like that, but they're so delicious.
Dude,
Two
this
nine
Homemade
makes it
jerky.
really good.
this is literally the best beef jerky I've ever had, like, in my life. And it's you ever go to, like, I don't know if you have a bargain market where you live, but they have this marinated tri-tip, which is terrible if you cook it. It's just marinated meat like that. It's just, to me, I just not a fan. But you slice this up and you put it on the smoker for 5
You
hours.
jerk it.
It is the best beef jerky like ever, and it's $8 a pound when it's raw. So I don't know how much it dries up, right? But it probably ends
my
up being
beef.
about 75 cents to $1 an ounce.
That's my beef in the fire.
So good, dude. Yeah, what are you talking about?
He was making a joke about throwing something in fire.
Yeah. A comic book or something.
So much lore.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah. I've been around for a minute.
So how'd you like Grokken?
It was okay. It's more of a never-ending story type of story. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of fighting. It's a lot of journey. And I was kind of surprised by that, but the scenery and everything makes up for it. So there's not a lot of action. So I wonder what he's going to try and how many more he's going to do to try and finish this story. It'd be
You have both
interesting.
issues?
Yeah, I got 1 and 2. I just got cover B and the other one.
Yeah,
Cover A for
on
number
the
2.
second campaign, I think I bought the one. I ended up with 4 books from. So I think I got 3 from
Did you read them?
campaign. I tried.
Look at you.
So that's kind of so. Did you say you tried because you just weren't interested, or
I got about a third of the way through, and
Is it pretty to look at?
it's so beautiful, and I love Kenneth, and I hate to say it, dude. I just couldn't read it.
you know,
I think I have
Kroll?
1 and 2, but I haven't read them.
Yeah. Well, I've gone through them. I haven't read them completely because I eventually, I think, will review them on Well Read Stream. So I'll wait for that. But you remember like Kroll
Why
with the
you gotta
star
wait for
that they
well-read
threw
to
and had the blades
read
that
them?
come out. You know, it had that
Fuck it.
type of storytelling feel. Even though it had action in the film, it was more of a journey with not a lot of action.
I think maybe he was trying to introduce too much, rather than like
Hmm.
locking you into a
Did you
character.
read Starblades?
Did I read Starblades? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Kyle Ritter's?
Was that like that? Is that what you're saying? It's like that?
Yeah. Introduced a lot of characters. It was beautiful, but introduced a lot of characters.
Yeah, but he used a bunch of freaking 3D models.
Who Kyle did?
Yeah.
Did you read it?
Didn't you
Did
tell?
you see it? Did you look at it?
Yeah, I have it. Dude, that thing was all rendered with 3D models. It was that dude doesn't know how to draw.
Oof.
Yeah. I heard that story, but I never bought the book or anything.
I
can
want
just
you to
tell
go
by
through
the-
it. Go through it again, 7 and 9, and notice how 90, maybe 95% of the characters, their faces never move. There's
Okay.
there's not any expression at all because they're like, it's like you took a Star Wars model and you just took a picture of it from different angles. from because it's a stuff.
So what would you use to do that? How would you like a 3D
Yeah.
poser or something?
Something like
Like
that.
you use
Yeah.
poser.
I mean,
No,
he probably created the models himself, right?
and then just changed
Yeah, and then
their parameters.
plopped them down.
Yeah.
Probably did some rendering and stuff, but yeah, those weren't hand illustrated at all. Not a
Yeah.
chance.
Now, is there something that you like? How do you know? Because I haven't read his book, but like, how would you specifically know other than the?
He's got
Because when you're an artist
eye.
and you're trying to draw stuff, and you're trying to copy a model from pose to pose to pose or whatever it is, it's
They have to be.
never perfect because you're a human being, not a machine. All of the models are dead on perfect from one to the other, and there's almost no facial expressions, which means he's just taking a clip, he's taking a model, rotating it one way or the other, and clipping it, rotating it one way or the other, clipping it. Yeah, that's a totally. I mean, whatever. It's. I'm not going to say it's illegitimate, but if you're passing it off as you having hand drawn this book, you're a freaking liar. Clip Studio has 3D passable models. Maybe that's what he used.
Yeah,
But I think he probably built the models himself.
I can't get into Clip Studio. I much prefer Procreate and just a tablet, just holding it, tablet in your hand and going. I don't want. What are they called? The Wacoms or any of that jazz? That just seems like way too much.
I don't know, man. I've been having so many glitching problems with my freaking
Well,
with
just
my
get a new
iPad.
iPad. That's like another
Yeah,
problem.
That's an
Matt
iPad
Yackey.
Pro. The biggest iPad Pro is it's like $2,000. I'm just gonna go sell some Bitcoin and buy another freaking tablet.
Yeah, just add it to your cell phone plan. $30 a month.
Although I did just get another NFT gig. It's not like a huge one, but I'm doing NFTs for these songs that are coming out, and the first one I'm doing is with Busta Rhymes. Remember
Is
Busta
it too?
Rhymes?
Oh, Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
He's getting into it. Matt Costin says he likes the Wacom, but like I was watching Matt Yackey draw, and he just like draws with his arm in the air. You know what I mean? Like he's sitting in his chair, he's got the Wacom and its little death platform, and it just I don't know, it just doesn't seem like something that would be comfortable or very user friendly to move around, put in your lap if you're going into bed, whatever, what have you.
There it is. Let's see it. You can see what I'm talking about. There you go. Now let's see that face on any other page. It'll look exactly the same.
Where is he? It's right here. I have to. Okay.
Yeah, so you're saying the faces are like the same.
Identical.
Yeah.
Like perfectly. I mean, you'd have to have. I don't know. It's not physically possible. There it is. Same expression and everything. Same expression, different angle. And then there's a couple with like their mouths open, and that's their other expression. Yep. Same expression, different angle.
Well, that's interesting.
Copy and pasted, huh?
Well, a 3D model rotated.
Yeah, you just rotate the camera down and you
Yeah.
can see the angle.
And who knows? Maybe he inked it. Like maybe he just printed them out like Blue Line and then inked them on. But he does everything digitally, anyways. So, all right. Now check out that face. Let's see that face on another pose. Oh, he's got his mouth open. So that's the other expression.
Same guy, right?
Oh, that looks exactly the same as the last one.
Well, I'm flipping back and forth.
Well, he
Oh,
definitely.
okay, back and forth. Okay.
So
There
he
it is
does
again.
huge panels. I noticed in that, like big panels.
Yeah. You
Pretty.
see what I mean,
Oh, there he
Stefan?
is. Look, it's this big one.
Oh, look, his mouth's open again.
Kyle did not draw that. Are you saying that's a 3D
Saying that's a
model?
3D model. I mean, he might have
Kyle-
traced. He might have done the inking on it,
but he didn't draw
right?
it.
He didn't draw the base model. There's no way you can get them that exactly perfect.
Interesting.
Even if you're deaf.
Even if you're deaf. I don't think deafness changes your ability to draw a perfectly symmetrical face on every single character that looks exactly the same
What do you know?
on every
Deaf
page.
people can't hear colors.
And keep in mind, this is Kyle's first illustrated book.
First book. Look at that. That guy looks
So if
pretty
you
cool.
like came out of absolutely nowhere in your first book, you're
Look at this
drawing
guy.
100% consistently so that you know every single face looks exactly the
There
same.
he is again.
I mean, who knows? Maybe he's autistic or something.
Yeah, he's a savant.
Yeah, he's a savant that can draw the exact
Who can't
same
speak English.
face over and over again.
That looks cool, Mike. I don't know what you're talking
It does
about.
look cool.
3D models, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that.
I mean, look at the Avengers movie. That's half of that movie's 3D models too. Looks cool.
So is he drawing again, or is this like a one and done?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's an all caps comic.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, you're in my spot.
So Kyle didn't draw any of that.
I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, look, if I was to do that personally, if that was like that's the way I was going to do it, I would print out. I'd position my models. I'd position my whatever. I mean, he's a colorist, so obviously he colored it all himself, right? And then
Might be an artist too.
just ink over the characters and the backgrounds however I set them up, or maybe he drew the backgrounds. I don't know how much he did. All I know is that those faces are too freaking perfectly identical to be anything but 3D models.
Did he compose these layouts, or did he lift these?
No, I'm
compositions?
sure he composed the layouts. Yeah.
Look, there's the signature. Look. So this is Kyle's composition.
Yeah.
But with 3D models or some such that he inked
I would
over.
bet my life on it.
Hmm.
I mean, you noticed, right? Like 90% of the faces have no expression. They're all identical.
Hmm.
Mm.
Oh, there's that face again. Look.
Oh,
That's the open mouth face. So you have the stoic face and you have the open mouth face. Those are your two options in that book.
I just first
yeah, it's from
face
the
again.
same angle, but just in a smaller panel, as opposed to like a whole page.
It's like when you have a toy and you've got two heads on it, and you can swap the heads, but you don't have any other.
So there's that one.
That would be the stoic face.
And where's the other one?
Yeah.
That one.
So you see what I mean now.
Those are two different faces.
Yes, he's got two different faces per character.
The third different one. What's different?
That would be stoic.
And I think your fight scenes are shit, Mike. What do you think about that? What do you think about that?
They're all standing there.
And your fight scenes are shit.
That's not a fight scene.
I'm just saying.
That's just a team scene.
Yeah. Matt
You're
says, I
saying
bought
that-
Kyle's book because it looks so great. Didn't cross my mind that he used models. Did a good job making it look hand drawn. It did. He did do it. I mean, I think he fooled.
You're assuming that
people.
Mike is right, that Kyle did not draw these.
No, clearly Kyle can just only draw one facial expression. Two facial expressions. And he draws them exactly identically every single time to symmetrical perfection. That sounds legit.
Yeah. You're so stupid.
If the dude was so good, why is he freaking coloring, man? He should be drawing X-Men.
You should be. Busy.
A bunch of completely inexpressive
You're busy.
X-Men with stoic faces
Shadiversity.
or mouths open.
Well, Kyle's done coloring for like Evil Ernie and all that stuff, right?
Kyle's a great color, so I'm not going to take that away from
Yeah.
him.
Even though all the Evil Ernie books are gay as hell now, nothing like they used to be. But you know,
I didn't even know he did that.
yeah, he's done a lot of coloring for quite a few books back in the day.
Yeah, I mean he's colored
Number
several.
4?
of my covers.
Do what?
What?
7. He's asking
4 and
you.
5, right behind you.
Oh. No, that's 3 and 4. No, 3 and 4. 5 is in bed.
5.
I'm
is
about to
JoJo.
go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably wrap this up. It's 1:41. I should get these guys to bed. We got church in the morning.
Yeah,
I gotta go to the grocery store.
All right.
And
Well,
you're boring.
thanks for hanging out, everybody. And,
Yes, yes, indeed.
we'll see you soon. Come to cross examinations. We do it every weekday now. So we talked about giants on Friday.
And Nephilim. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It was fun. Are you watching those 7?
Okay. Peace. No. Why would I do that?
What do you mean? You're a
Why
good
would I
Catholic,
watch you?
right?
Why would I watch you though, Mike?
Because I'm handsome and hilarious. Good night,
Wrong.
everybody.
Good night.